Danica Patrick has joined us, and Danica drives the number 10 GoDaddy Chevrolet for Stewart Haas Racing. And Danica, thanks for coming by. And just talk about how practice has gone yesterday and today. And as always, certainly a special place here for you. But just talk about how the race car is setting up and your outlook for this weekend.
I feel like the car is it's a really good car. It's a brand new car for the weekend, and Hendrick has been very strong this year on the horsepower side of things. So both of those things play into our favor for this weekend. Good car, good engine. I think we got a good feel for the direction we needed to go from yesterday to today with the race setup, and I think that also relates pretty well to the qualifying setup. So started off okay, just I think we were a little bit on the tight side and really couldn't get that out of it and needed to get more aggressive. So we're going to for qualifying, and we'll just see how it goes. But I think it'll be okay overall, but you're hoping for great because it's a tough place to pass, and it's Indy, and you want to do really well.
Good deal. We'll take a few questions. If you have a question for Danica, raise your hand. We have two wireless mics, Taylor on the left, Chelsea on the right. Let's go to the front row here to my man right here on the front row.
Dick Whitman, what are your memories of that first race here where it was a shuffle between 3 or 4 of you for the victory? And,
I don't know, I'm too old. I can barely remember. It was so long ago. I just remember that I was a really good car and really fast, and that was back in the day of fuel trim, and so got a good restart and took the lead and just immediately started tuning it down to make it to the end on fuel because we were going further than anybody because of the accident that ripped the front wing off. That was my last stop. And, tires were getting a little bit older, couldn't quite hold the bottom line as well. And, it allowed Dan to be able to keep his wing below me and get a run off the corner. And I was maintaining all the way until the last fuel position. We had 8 fuel slots, and I was on 7 when he finally caught me. But at 6, I was maintaining a gap. But we went to 7, and he caught me, and then he was able to keep a wing below me and get the run off and get by me. And that's it. It went yellow, and I guess in hindsight it would have been nice too. I think it ended in yellow, and obviously looking back, it would have been nice to have just kept it in a field position that kept the gap, and we also probably weren't as aware of our fuel levels as we needed. We ended with like 2.5 gallons left still, so progress was made after that from what we were running for pickup and being able to see exactly where we were with fuel. So, and then I also remember the pace car going about 30 miles an hour before the last green flag, which I get doing the norm, but that was out of the norm, going slower so that we could have more green flag laps, and that didn't help me either.
Who else had a question? Let's saw a couple hands. Let's go to Chris, Marty, Kelly, Bob. Chris, Marty, Kelly, Bob.
Danica, ChrisKnight, Can you talk about what your expectations are for the second half of the season? You guys have shown some speed, shown some light. Do you guys feel like you guys are out of the championship hunt now, or do you guys feel like there's still place someone you guys can knock off a win?
I think a win is going to be pretty tough, but I think a win is realistic. If we look back to my best race of the year, which was Kansas, as far as regular racetracks go, things go a little bit differently, and I could have won that race. I feel like I'm able to. I just don't know if we're there yet. But if it presents itself and I'm in a position to win, I feel perfectly ready. I'm just not sure as a group in whole, probably including myself, that that's not a scenario that we're able to put ourselves in every single weekend. And even for the people that are, it's still hard to win. So, like I said, if the opportunity presents itself, I'm ready. But outside of that, in a points situation, I don't think there's much hope there. So it requires you to do that every weekend, finish right up front every single weekend to get those points. And I think that, like I said, if we're able to be up there as far as running, then the win is probably much more, it's much more likely, but that's not where we're at. So places like, Daytona would have been nice to go back green and see what would have happened, especially with so many fewer cars out there. But it didn't. So, and Talladega's in the chase. So that takes that out of it. But we are getting stronger as a team. There's no doubt about that. And we're getting better and better. And the team is doing a great job of producing better cars all the time and keeping up and moving forward. So all that stuff is going in the right direction. But, I'm still only at a year and a half's experience in Cup.
Let's go to Marty, Kelly, and Bob. Marty, Kelly, Bob.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Hi, Danica.
Hi.
Johnson said yesterday that this is one of the hardest tracks for him to lead his team and to know exactly how to attack it. His resume says different, but nonetheless.
Exactly. I was like,
He said it's really difficult for him to do that. But there was a light bulb sort of moment for him back in 05 or so where he realized, I've been driving this place completely wrong the whole time. I wondered if you ever had a moment like that here, and if it is one of the more difficult tracks for you to lead a team and tell them what's going on.
Well, I will say that this time being here, I feel like I'm able to drive more consistently and feel like I'm reaching the potential of the car much more. And I think that just has to do with the car being better. When the car's not right, it's moving all over the place, and you're like, did I not go in hard enough? Did I go in too hard? Did I pick up the throttle too late, too hard? There's a lot more questions when the car's off and the balance isn't right through the corner because the corners are so long, and there's obviously 4 full corners. So I feel like much more comfortable overall, but it sounds like I need to split out of here and go talk to Jimmy about what it was that he figured out in 2005. It's, I feel like part of the challenge here is that the straightaways are so long and the corners are so long. So it's like you have to meet this perfect marriage between getting into the corner far enough but not getting in so far that you mess up your exit. So, you just gotta walk that line. And, like I said, I think that having better cars here is giving me a better feel for being able to repeat, which is going to help me learn, I feel.
Let's go to Kelly and then Bob. Kelly, then Bob.
Kelly Crandall from Popular Speed. Danica, as a rookie, we hear so much about log laps, learn, just get experience. So now, halfway through your sophomore season, I'm curious, what has changed for you inside the race car? What are you better able to pick up on? How is your maybe communication and feedback changing? Overall, what's different for you and the team overall this year compared to what you went through last year?
Yeah, it's a good question. I really think that just the experience in the car is helping me feel what's happening more so. And so it leaves less options for the crew chief as changes when you can be more specific about what the car is doing, and then your progress on the weekend tends to be better. I also think that just getting up to speed quicker from the get-go also helps in not doing a big circle with the setup. Usually if you're not driving hard enough at the beginning of the practice, when you first hit the track, you are loose, and then as soon as you get more confident, you're driving in harder, all of a sudden you're tight again, and what do you know, you're right back where you started, but you're a session behind now. So I think getting up to speed, and then also just being able to identify a little bit better, and I mean a little bit better. I don't mean I have a lot to learn and a lot of progress to still make on being able to feel the little things about the car that I need to help even more. But I think those two things are really helpful overall in our weekends and help us to be more methodical and fine-tune the car.
We'll go to Bob and then over here to Bruce.
Bob Packer, Sporting News. Was the 30th place finish last year, did it sting more than some of the other kind of blah finishes, or was it just kind of another day in the season?
No, that was another day in the season. We started the race with troubles anyway. We had a little bit of a leak, a little bit of an oil leak, and after 5 laps, you probably saw me in the broadcast smoking, and it was dropping oil, and it was just not a good race for us. There was oil all in the wheel wells and in the car, and it wasn't good. I don't think I had any hope from lap 5 on, so... and oddly enough, I do remember starting off thinking, not too bad, and then I didn't go anywhere. So that's just the way our race went. And, beforehand in the season, if you're to pick tracks you want to do well at, I would pick here. But when you're in the moment and it's happening, it just is what it is. I could care less where the really good races come from when they're happening.
Let's go to Bruce, and then we'll go to Doug.
Bruce Martin, Race Day on Fox Sports Radio. So are you the doting aunt? Are you the one that brings the expensive gifts? Your mom loves to post pictures of the grandbaby. So how are you with the new addition?
Those blue eyes, that soft hair, those sharp teeth. Oh, I was talking about Dallas. Were we talking about Dallas? No. Yeah, Reese is really cute, my daughter's little girl. She's here today, and she was dressed in one of the, as you said it, expensive gifts, in one of those expensive outfits that I found for her downtown Chicago, and she looked very cute. But I do my best, yes, I try. I also try and take care of my sister and my parents and everybody else too, but it's impossible when you have a little niece to be able to walk by a little girl's clothing and not go, oh my God, look at that. That is, I have to buy it. So I do. Do I change diapers? Heck yeah. Yeah, I do. I don't mind. I was changing a diaper and I had a new one under, ready to go. And all of a sudden I looked down, I'm like, gosh, girl, you were sweating, weren't you? And then I'm like, no, you peed again. So then I went for another diaper.
Go to Doug.
At least it wasn't a boy, right?
Yeah,
That would have been in my face.
a little different there. Go ahead, Doug.
Got a duck. Doug Rice, Performance Racing Network. Hey, Danica.
Hi.
Can't really follow up Bruce's question there, but back at Media Tour and Media Day, there was so much conversation about this team and the four big personalities and how everybody was going to get along. It seems like at this juncture of the season, that's been a total non-story. Can you address that chemistry there?
I don't think any of us thought it was going to be a story. It was more of an interesting story from the beginning that wasn't going to materialize. I feel like, with all of our personalities, while we're strong, we're not necessarily just like strong at each other. We're just strong personalities and have opinions. But more than anything, we all want to do well and we want to get better. And for sure, in my position, I'm lucky to be able to be with guys that have so much experience that I can learn from. So. You get a lot of really constructive progress and constructive criticism along the way, and everybody can get better, and everybody wants to get better. So when everybody wants to get better and they're not defensive, then it's all just to get better, and everybody knows that. So I think that's why you've seen an improvement in our team this year, and everything from top to bottom is just a little bit better communication, and it shows.
Got time for one more question? Anybody with a final question for Danica? Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Hello, Danica again. Chad Breedlove, Pit Lane Radio. I just want to say, kind of related to that, how has Kevin Harvick and Kurt Busch impacted you on that team this year? Has it helped you out quite a bit?
Kevin is probably someone that's helped the most. He's just able to put things in terms and ways and words that I understand and I'm able to use. And Kurt's been helpful as well, but Kevin the most. And it helps. It just helps little things like, when you get up to speed, are you flat out around 3 and 4, and what are some of your tricks when it gets tight or gets loose, or where is there a little extra grip on the track? And so they both are helpful. They're all helpful. Tony is too, but I think above all of them is probably Kevin is probably the best of them at teaching. And it's I don't think everyone has the gift, and I don't think I do, but he's pretty good at it.
Danica, thanks for coming in, and all
right.
the best of luck this weekend.
Thank you. Is there a
Thank you.
David in the house?
David?
David, I think this
could
one
be.
should be yours. I'm going to leave this up here for you. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.